whenever I see an animation based on a Julia Donaldson book and I haven't seen it, I kind of have to make it a priority to see it. And Zog and the Flying Doctors was recommended to me on Amazon Prime based on my viewing history. Read into that what you will. And I thought I'd give it a watch, and I found it absolutely delightful. Now, there are a few things I thought were peculiar, mainly the title of this. Now, Zog as a character, I'm not too familiar with. There is a completely separate book about Zog. Zog is a main character, but this one, Zog kind of takes a back seat, and this actually focuses on our main protagonist, Pearl. So I feel like Pearl's name should have been in the title there. It was a bit of an oversight and a little bit of a disservice to her, to be honest. But putting that aside, the narrative is a lot of fun. Pearl, I'll read the description from IMDb, but then I'll talk a little bit around it. There won't be any spoilers in this. If you want to watch it, though, thoroughly recommend it. It was released last year in 2020, directed by Mullen. Absolutely brilliant. The description from IMDb is as follows. Pearl and Gadabout are now a flying doctor trio, caring for creatures including a mermaid, a unicorn, and a sneezy lion. However, when the bad weather forces them to land at the palace, Pearl is locked up by her uncle, the king. That actually misses out something pretty important. At the beginning of this short, and I don't know how much it compares to the book. If you've read the book, I'd love to know what the difference is. Pearl is actually told at the beginning by her uncle, the king, that she's not going to grow up to be a doctor. Her job is to look pretty and be a princess and wear a crown. But eventually, she gets her way, and she and this other character, Gadabout, I don't know anything about these characters beyond what we're told in this. Do they appear in the original Zog book? Again, let me know if you do know. I'd like to know the background. But Pearl and Gadabout fly about on Zog, treating the mermaid and the unicorn and the lion and helping them with their different ailments. They all have to basically crash land back at the castle, at the palace, and the king is kind of like, oh, where have you been, Pearl? And Pearl, kind of explains that she's been helping other people. And then the next thing she knows, something goes wrong at the palace. And maybe the time she spent as a doctor will actually come in handy. I'm not going to say any more than that. I don't want to spoil the narrative. But I will say I love the message. I love the message that Pearl, who is destined to be a princess, breaks the mold and becomes the doctor she wants to be. It's not just that she doesn't want to be a pretty princess, it's that she actively wants to be a doctor. And she achieves that dream, and it's such a powerful message to everybody who has a dream, but also particularly for anybody who feels like they're not allowed to grow up and be something that's different to what their family expects of them. The fact that she's helping other people is very sweet. The mermaid with the sunburn, how I laughed. So funny. Just the concept of a mermaid with sunburn is hilarious. I really like the animation style. I think the CGI animation is really beautiful. It's very crisp. The movements are brilliant. The character designs are great. Comparing it to, say, the character of Zog from the books, I think it's really brought that animation, that illustration into a 3D persona really well. This is just me Googling images of Zog. As I said, I haven't read the actual book. I thought it was pretty great. It's not something I would ever watch again, whereas something like the Gruffalo, I would, because I've got a very big soft spot for the Gruffalo. But as a one-time watch, I thought Zog and the Flying Doctors was great, with a lovely message. Pretty funny in places as well. Brilliant voice cast. Patsy Ferran voices Pearl. Lenny Henry narrates it, which is pretty great, and the fantastic Rob Brydon voices the king. So it's got quite a lot going for it. It's a lot of fun. There are definitely worse ways to spend half an hour. I thought it was very sweet, with a great message. Quite a lot going for it. Very fun, keeping the magic in there with the unicorns and the lion. The lion was very cute. I definitely think it's one that's worth a watch.